All right, motherfuckers, it's May 19th. Oh, I actually got that right. Fuck, it doesn't matter what you... Anyway, we're going to talk today about all kinds of shit. John is back on. My co-host. Candace is chilling. You might vaguely hear her because the microphone's not really close. Another cat named Bob's chilling, but... I guess right now we're going to talk about the fucking gluten allergies. Now in restaurants, people are getting a lot more requests for gluten-free buns, gluten-free pizza doughs, gluten-free sliced bread, gluten-free whatever the fuck. And I mean, it's cool if you work at a place that adapts to that, but if you don't, and it's obviously a place that doesn't carry that shit, it's really annoying to have people ask for it. Any stories come to mind?
Well, I mean, there's two different levels. You have the actual allergy, gluten allergy, and then you have people that are, gluten sensitive. Mm-hmm. And so they sit there and act like they have a gluten allergy, but now you're causing a kitchen to actually have to go through these extraordinary lengths to make sure that you don't shit yourself at the table. When in actuality, that one rogue breadcrumb that may or may not ever touch your diet.
I think that you would pay the kitchen to not honor the gluten allergy just to watch someone shit themselves at the table.
Yeah. But then what if you had to clean that up? Or what if you knew one of the bussers or one of the fucking hostess or whatever sucker is going to fucking clean that up? You're like, oh, sorry, bro.
Sucker as a manager?
No, manager's not going to clean it up. Manager has someone else do that shit.
That's called delegation.
I would make the manager clean that up. I'd be like, I don't get paid for this shit.
Literally.
Yeah.
I get paid by the hour, motherfucker.
Yeah.
What's the tip you leave when you shit yourself at a table? Like, I hope it's more than 20%.
Like getting the
like
fuck
at least
out of there.
30.
Don't eat gluten. Apparently, is your tip.
Yeah, we had a lady. We had a fat bitch actually break the toilet seat at work.
I remember that one.
Did we talk about this on the podcast?
I don't think so.
Would you talk about it, please?
No, I wasn't actually there. I just remember hearing about it. Just a very large person went in and
she was there for fucking ever.
Was destroyed. It was just destroyed.
She was there forever, and I saw one of the busters grabbing like a fresh lid. I'm like, what's going down? And like, yeah, some fat lady sat in there, and she just sat there.
Have lids on store just to like.
I was wondering that.
Make sure, just in case some fat bitch breaks the lid.
No, they went to Lowe's and shit.
Okay.
Lowe's is not far away, and you know what the thing about that is like, I bet she was in there. Either she was in there and she like broke it and panicked and be like, oh fuck, what do I do? And was trying to think about something to do and they just spaced out, thought about food, or just like sitting down and enjoyed it for a while. You know, and then she's like, oh shit, I gotta do something about this, or whatever, I'll get out, no one will know it's me and shit like that. But
well, at least it happened at a restaurant instead of like your buddy's party or something, because that'd be even more fucking awkward.
I don't think she's going to any parties.
You never know. Fat people, they don't
you know, back to that gluten-free allergy, I was saying to someone at work, I go, you know, even though there's a lot more complicated things involved and blah, 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 but I said, what did they do like 30 years ago? Because they're old people. And he goes, oh, they probably died.
I actually lectured a lady on that, what I was speaking before on allergy to intolerance, and telling her that you're putting the kitchen out if you really don't have an allergy. It's like, well, we're happy to try to make something gluten-free for you, but don't stress something like you're going to die when you're not. You're putting a lot of people out.
And there's some people, like those entitled fucking, I'm going to say fat people again, those people who just really like to chew and swallow shit all the time. They just be like, oh, because they'll sometimes say, is it an allergy? Or no, I just hate them. I really hate them. Just like fucking Newman, like Nemesis. Like they hate, it's always a vegetable. It's never like bacon. You never see somebody who's like, fuck bacon. You know?
Well, no. That also depends on where we live.
That's
like
true.
When I've lived in a bigger city, you get a lot more, Muslims and Jews coming in, and then you have like bacon, no alcohol, things like that. Now you're dealing with the whole spectrum of dietary restrictions.
Oh god,
that gets fun.
That halal diet sounds boring as shit, by the way. No bacon, no booze. Fuck that.
Yeah, that's living.
You want to hear about a crazy story the other night? And this is why I think restaurants should have corking fees per liter. And there's this one girl I was working with, and she's normally very happy, very like whatever, just always in a good mood. And that night she just looked pissed off and just bummed out. She had a big top upstairs, a big table of people. And she looked pissed off. I'm like, oh, this has got to be something sweet that happened because like sweet in a way, not that I want something bad to happen to her, but like something fucking interesting must have happened. There was 20 fucking geezers and they brought in this like 3-4 gallon bottle of wine. It was fucking huge as shit. And excuse me, we're drinking anyway. And they all split it amongst themselves. Only paid $10, a corking fee to bring in their own fucking booze, and that could have easily been like at least $100 for the restaurant. They could have had, or for the server who's got to actually clean up all this shit and deal with all this shit. And anyway, not only that wasn't even the worst part of it. One of the head guys or whoever was running this fucking party says, hey, can you box all this food up? So she personally boxed up 20 different, items, put it in to-go bags and all shit, brings it up to the guy. And he goes, okay, well, good. Here, I want to give this to you. I wanted you to take it home so you could eat it, have something to eat for later.
Oh my god!
I was like, who does that?
God,
they don't even do that. Like,
sometimes.
they don't even do that in Somalia or something. Or maybe they do. I don't fucking know. But that's so fucking gross. Especially a bunch of geezers drooling in the fucking food. It's just like, what do you think, we're fucking homeless? Like, what the fuck is with that?
I've seen homeless guys turn down like leftover takeout.
Just Jesus. Fucking like, what a fucking prick move, man. Prick of the day.
Yeah, that takes the cake right there.
Here's another prick of the day.
That one in a while.
Oh man. Okay, people who ask for fucking toothpicks. I mean, okay, I'll go run to the host stand and get you a fucking toothpick. Same beef I have when a fucking geezer sits down at the table and like, you haven't seen your menu? I mean, not fucking on me. I don't have obvious, huge pockets, like cargo pockets I carry around. It's fucking at the desk where you get your other menu. Kind of like a toothpick. I go back, get the toothpick. And these assholes, hasn't happened to me, but it's happened to a couple colleagues. They'll take the toothpick, stash it in a fucking napkin, so when you go to clean the table, you grab the fucking napkin with a toothpick in it, stab yourself from some dumbass's gross mouth germs, and that's a bummer, man. It's a bummer for someone cleaning the table. If you use a toothpick, make it fucking obvious, or I won't fucking make it obvious in your food next time you eat it, you motherfucker.
I don't think I've been
the worst way to get Hep B.
I was just thinking, oh, now you have herpes. Well, you were talking about wine. I got a wine story. So I had a table come in of a couple of ladies, and one of the ladies was like, oh, I'll have the Zinfandel by the glass. And then I began to educate her that we didn't have a Zinfandel by the glass. She goes, yeah, you do. You have this pink one. It's like, that's a white Zinfandel. Yeah, I'll be happy to bring that to you. She's like, what's the difference? So when she asked me the difference, I'm going to sit there and try to educate her. So then I do, and she's like, okay, I'll take the white Zinfandel. Then the next lady goes, well, then I'll take the other one you were talking about that whole time. It's like, the whole point was that we didn't have that, was what I was explaining to the first lady. And then the next lady orders that exact same thing. It's like they're not even present in the whole encounter.
Old ladies are the worst. Well, there's cool old ladies and there's not cool old ladies. But it's like a 75 to 25% ratio. Especially the ladies that come in and bicker and they're all fucking talking to each other. And they have all the time in the world because they're just waiting on the clock. They're not going to yoga, they're not going to gym, they're not fucking like...
doesn't start till 7.
Yeah. Madlock's not doing too many fucking guest appearances, but like, yeah, they won't even fucking listen to what you're saying. And the thing that is, in the daytime when they come in, which is their nighttime, as soon as they get done with the food, they're like, I want the check right now. Blah, 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 blah. It's like, dude, you have all the time in the world. No, not really, but like, you fucking, what do you got to do? What do you really have to do? You drove here.
Well, maybe they're on one of those like creepy bus field trips from the retirement home. Like, do you guys get those at your restaurants?
I'm glad I don't anymore, but that's always entertaining.
Pulls up and dumps a bunch of Jerry Hatcherts at your restaurant
Fuck
doors,
yeah.
like, feed and entertain these women. I'll be back in like 3 hours.
Oh,
and you're like, what the fuck?
I remember seeing those though. And your heart
I've had those,
drops.
man. I've had those.
Drops.
And they bring in walkers. They're like locked up like a bike gang. I feel like I don't want to knock into them like Pee-wee's Big Adventure and they all topple over and I gotta put on some shoes.
At least they won't chase you if you do.
No shit. Oh, it's fucking crazy. Now,
You're just like, how many coffees and how many times am I going to have to repeat the soup? You almost gotta turn that into a game now. You're like, are we going to set a record for this? I'm going to say chowder 50 times in the next 2 minutes.
It sounds like a Milton Bradley game. Just, what's the soup? Randy Newman's fucking singing the intro thing. I'm sitting at the table, what's the soup? They're saying something to my friend, but they're talking too fast. It's really cold in here, and this fucker's sweating.
You know, on the plus side, though, you fuck up their order, or the kitchen fucks up their order, and you're just like, no, that's totally what you ordered. You're just
fuck.
forgetful.
Dude.
And they won't remember when they go home anyways.
I wish.
Is that they get on the internet and write a Yelp review?
Dude, I wish that was the fucking case. I get bitches who are accusing me of shit I don't do. Like, I had one part of our, like, restaurant program where if you sign up and we blast you with emails to get you to come back in, you get certain prizes and shit. And the lady just, companies change information, servers update, we lose fucking information. It's something that happens. She's like, oh, I got an email once saying something, and just wigging out about it and be like, hey, look, I totally try to find you for an email to every piece of information you have. Nothing I can do. And she's just fucking, this old people, I take it personal. I'm like, I'll remember you, motherfucker. Like I walked up to her grandson at a grade school with my hand in my dick or something. Like something really obnoxious.
Obnoxious.
Something bad.
I mean, that's one way to describe walking up to a grade school kid with your hand every day.
But no, just
Some
the
people
hate.
call that felony, but
No, I just the hate some of these cats have when they can't get exactly what they want. And it's usually controlling type people that, like, the kids moved out, the grandkids moved out, and their husband just spaces out, so he can't really bitch at him anymore, you know what I mean? And they just like to be like, oh, I'm going to make sure he does this my way, and I'm going to look for every little fucking thing wrong and judge him by that.
We've got this lady that comes in all the time, and all the servers just loathe to serve her. It's just the most awful experience every time. I finally figured out how to serve her. I can do this every time. I actually get to be the rudest person alive to her. You come up and she wants to boss around the whole encounter. She wants to tell people what they want to order, and I just basically tell her to be quiet. And this is what we're going to do. And then I walk them step by step, and when she tries to talk, I stop her.
Mm-hmm.
And then I clarify, make everything go the way I want to, and then at the end of the meal, she will compliment me and give me like a 40% tip.
Dude, you Benny Hannader.
Hold up the one finger and across the lips.
I
How do you silence
just
her?
come up and I don't talk. I just stand there and stare at her. It makes her feel uncomfortable, and then she looks at me, and then I proceed, and I just control the whole situation. Like, dude, if I would do this to any other table, I might get fired, like, the way I talk to her.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But she she That's what she wants. Like, I just wants to be rude. I feel like I'm working at, like, Dick's Last Resort when I'm doing that, and this is, like, more fine dining-esque.
But it goes down to customer customization, because
True.
just like, who's that fucking Bill Marvin? Who was that fucking self-help server guy? We used to watch him at the restaurant we worked at together, and he would come and be like, teach you how to make money. He had a lot of good ideas, like, for example, be at the table. The more they see you at the table delivering food, you make more money. But then the funny thing about this was, this is kind of a different note, he was fucking fat, but then it would clip to like an illustration of him. He'd be all skinny and shit in the illustration. Kind of like...
They illustrate this guy?
Well, they had a picture. It showed him like an illustration, like, and then it showed a topic. Then it showed him sitting on a chair dressed like a fucking bohemian Huxtable. You know what I mean? He was wearing a fucking turtleneck and shit, and he'd be like, don't wear red fingernail polish. It's offensive. Someone could come in, see red fingernail polish, and get pissed off. It's true. Like, sometimes I don't want to see fucking red fingernail polish on shit. And, like, it depends on the person. It depends on if it's flattering or not, because, I mean, I personally find, like, certain ugly people really gross. Boom. Background distraction. Anyway, talking about Bill Marvin, right?
Yeah.
Did you watch any of those shits? You know what I'm talking about?
I blaze through it, dude. You just space out. And...
It was fucking kind of funny because he would say, like, you have to treat every table the same way, and it goes back to what you were saying. It's like, you don't. Some people want different shit. Some people like to be fucked with, you know? Some people like to be dicks. Some people really like... A lot of old people really like to be... Hey, BD to talk to you like a fucking infant, but I can't do that. It has to be like a slightly older woman to do that. Someone in their like 40s or whatever, like, who could be really nice to them. They're like, oh, she got so young, and to throw gang signs at me and shit, or whatever their preference is. But
gang signs.
Hey, back to people who get drawn in cartoons that are like skinnier or whatever. Do you remember the Wild Kratts TV show?
It was... I only ever saw it after it was done airing. I never actually got to see it while it was airing.
But did you ever watch the show?
Not really. Like 1 or 2 episodes.
I thought it was funny, like the two Kratt brothers. There's probably like roughly 40, and they're just kind of like, they're funny dudes or whatever. But like in the cartoon, they look 20 and they're like slim as shit. But they're like, in real life, they're all fucking chubby and shit.
Well, that's like the dude behind Archer. Have you seen that voice actor?
Yeah.
Oh, fucking what's his name? Dave. He does Bob's Burgers voice.
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
what's his name? He also did. He was on Dr. Katz. He was a kid. No, Ben. Son of a bitch.
I can't remember his name. It just cracks me up. It's like everybody else on Archer seems like is like modeled after a character, except for the chick that voices Pam, the fat blonde, is like crazy hot in real life.
Oh, really?
And then the guy who voices Archer, like he's not crazy fat or ugly, but like he does not look like Sterling Archer.
Nah, he's more like
Fuck.
he's more like that sideways guy with a beard. It's been something. He used to have a TV show
He's an older cat.
where he argued with someone on TV. I can't remember what it was.
That narrows it down.
Yeah,
What a job.
I
just
fucking have
yell at
nothing.
somebody else on television.
Well, you know, if you have a bad table.
Yeah.
Have a bad table. Man, did you see that that thing like Michelle Obama's in Rock and all these people are having these hashtag bring back our girls or bring back my girls
I've been noticing
about the Nigeria thing?
Yeah.
So for all of you that don't know, a bunch of girls got kidnapped in Nigeria, like 200 of them by this crazy motherfucker, Muslim motherfucker. And so a lot of cats have been. There was a hashtag started, bring back my girls, and so it's floating around to show awareness or whatever the fuck. But Ann Coulter, that satanic fucking Republican bitch, you know who that is?
Yeah.
She made her own to mock it that said, bring back my country. Just like,
Did they turn that shit into a meme?
like, and other people took that and erased it, said I'm a satanic bitch who hates other races and all kinds of shit. But it's like, what the fuck? And Rush Limbaugh was on TV all bad-mouthing Michelle Obama for it. It's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, that's what he gets paid to do, though.
He's such a sack of shit. He's a sack of shit. So
Although, I mean, when you look at his job description, like, you get paid a lot of money to just say shit that you might not necessarily agree with, but you get to piss people off all day, every day, and get paid a lot of money for it.
yeah,
in a
Pretty
different,
awesome,
in a
actually.
different light.
Like in a
if it
Stephen
wasn't
Colbert
that,
one?
like light, but you know, like a fuck people who think they have gluten intolerance kind of light. That's an awesome job, and I'm kind of jealous.
yeah, I'd be like trolling like Stephen Colbert, and like he acts like he's Republican, he's really not. Just to
Yeah.
fucking do that shit. I often thought it would be a good idea to be like make like a fake Democrat that makes fun of Democrats, but he's really Republican or whatever, or basically opposite of Stephen Colbert. I totally inarticulated that wrong. Just have a Fox News guy that does that shit.
Just a Fox News
Who's
guy.
like acts like he's a Democrat, but he seems like he's an idiot, or it makes him look stupid.
Well, Wolf Blitzer's kind of got that hippie beard going for him.
Wolf
so
Blitzer's fucking
maybe talk him into that.
that fucking guy. CNN. They do stretch out fucking news stories pretty good, man. For fucking ever. They were showing people what a plane was when that fucking Malaysia plane was. You know what I mean?
There was that one CNN thing, and they're like, we found the plane. And then it was like, 30 seconds later, they have the episode for it, and they're like, we didn't find the plane. It's like, really, in 30 seconds, your information changed so drastically
Well, that's
that
how
you were
long it
going to
takes to
present
check
and then
the
present. Like, that was pretty funny.
Oh my god. On a different topic, going back to restaurants, I had a fucking redneck.
Because that's what it's all about.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I guess.
Wolf Blitzer walked into the restaurant. And I was like, fuck you and your plane, sir.
Nah, dude, I had this fucking redneck night, man. And you know when you're talking the other day about this chick breastfeeding while she was drinking a couple beers, and I was like, oh, you know, it isn't really gonna be that drunk, and I was like giving this kind of disclaimer,
Yeah.
even though a lot of it absolutely does. If you get wasted, yeah, it's gonna go through, but
It was 3 martinis.
it was that's still a lot, man. That's a lot.
Sounds like
But like if someone's like sipping a glass of wine, not too big of a deal. But God, I saw this lady.
But the open breast, like everything, like it was just all together. The whole
Yeah.
picture just looks bad.
And I felt your pain the other night because I
Breast,
saw some.
martini in the hand.
Oh God, I
That
saw.
sounds like an amazing martini, by the way.
Yeah.
Up next, we have the open-breasted martini in hand.
That's a great special.
Sign me up, sir.
Well, I had
This
this.
will reveal at least one breast for you.
Oh, jeez. I had this fat, disgusting bitch breastfeeding while drinking that fucking Hefeweizen, and it was so gross, and she was so disgusting, like those ones that are so like obese in the face that they look like fucking like munchkins, like and then her husband ordered fucking like an Alfredo pasta and put fucking ketchup in it and shit. Oh, okay, first it was like his fucking like hick wife fucking ordered, you know, ketchup. Oh, she ordered fries and go, you want any sauces with that, ketchup or ranch and shit? And the guy goes, ketchup. And I thought like, okay, he's gonna steal some of her fries, so he just threw that out there so he could take her shit. No, that motherfucker puts it on the pasta and eats it. I'm like, you fucking shit kicking hick. You
I feel like I've had ketchup on one pasta before in my life. It wasn't a proud moment. I was really drunk, but it worked in a
It's like
second.
a redneck spaghetti.
I think it was like ketchup on fucking macaroni and cheese or something.
Oh yeah, that's
but,
fucking gross.
You know, you combine white trash with white trash. It sometimes equals brilliant trash. And
Like multiplication rules. Like two negatives make a positive.
Exactly. It was like that. It was like ketchup and Kraft mac and cheese together. Like, I'm not saying you should try this at home, but
It's delicious.
yeah, no. When I was like really drunk and high, I was like, "This is not that bad."
Well,
I think I ate a whole box.
I can't talk shit. I fucking deep fried a pizza once. I was fucking really high at this place I worked at. I'm like, "Ah."
Unfortunately, if you deep fry anything, it's delicious.
You know what's
This
hard
was
as fuck?
fucking
Deep frying
gross.
So
bananas.
sad. What?
You know what's hard as fuck? Deep frying bananas.
Sure. Sure. But you deep fry anything, it's good.
It's the best part about working at restaurants, man. Deep fryer experiments.
Oh man, did I ever tell you about this kid that worked with me? He's this. Oh, this is probably evil. I probably shouldn't even say this on here, but it doesn't matter. He was like this fucking like lazy fucker. And he'd be like, "Can you make me a French dip? I want a French dip." He just munched. He was like ghoul when he ate. He just like he sat there and just talked about French dips all the time. It was really fucking weird. And then so I'm like, "I'll give you a French dip, you motherfucker." And I put so much butter on it, and I soaked it, and I deep fried the meat, and I put like bacon fat on the fucking bun, and he just like, "Oh, did you saw somebody in the bathroom for like 40 minutes or something?" More like 20. I'm exaggerating a little, but he'd be in the bathroom for a while, shitting himself, and I was just seeing how big I could get him. You know, I was like,
How big I could get him.
I was like, he didn't care. He had no shame, and he was so like that about it. So I was like, I feel bad about doing this actually, kind of, not really, but like, there's one point where. He was a fucker. He didn't do his job. He was always complaining. All he wanted to do was eat. It was really that bad. So anyway, he quit or something. And then a couple of the fucking managers came down to me. They go, "Hey, he claimed he quit because you were trying to fatten him up." And I go, "Really? There's a chubby person who likes eating lots of food. He's complaining that I'm feeding him too much food."
I mean, are you like cornering him with a spoon and just like forcing it down his throat?
I go, "Yes, I am."
A weird movie.
Yes, I am wronging him because this is something he obviously doesn't want. And they're like, "Oh yeah, funny," and I hear everything about it. But like, yeah, I was actually trying to fatten him up.
After all these years, the truth is out.
Oh
He was
God.
so right.
God, that's when I worked in the back of the kitchen. That was a whole different world, man.
It's a terrible world.
You didn't give a shit. You're just trained not to give a shit because you're not really compensated on, working there, really. Only a couple people make decent money, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I always tell people, like, they don't pay me to think here.
No,
I'm not going
fuck
to problem solve for you. It's not going to do anything.
Mm-mm.
Unfortunately, when you're in those entry-level positions, it's the way it is.
Oh, shit.
Cooking's fucking bullshit. I feel so bad for these kids getting out of the Cordon Bleu or CIA, and they're like
CIA?
Culinary Institute of America. Not the fun CIA though.
Kind of like the fucking... Oh, fucking Jesus Christ. The NRA, not the National Rifle Association, National Restaurant Association.
But the NRA and the CIA are in cahoots over this.
Oh, that's so fucking crazy.
These fucking kids, they get out of college and those things are not cheap. They're crazy expensive. And they're like, "Great, I'm a chef now. I can wear a funny hat and walk around with knives." I'm like, "We'll pay you $10 an hour to fucking peel potatoes."
Oh, yeah, no shit. And you know what?
Yeah, it's terrible. I mean, I laugh at them, but
You could just get a job as a dishwasher at a steakhouse. Get a job and work your way up to be cook. And then you could transfer to some southern state and work at a Cajun restaurant or some fucking French restaurant or some fancy Italian restaurant. And then you could get hired to if you just learn how to do shit and have some weird restaurant experience behind it. Honestly, getting a degree is fucked. It's a waste of time unless you like going to school for that shit. But honestly, you could make money. I mean, it looks better if you're trying to buy a restaurant or present yourself as a head chef. But honestly, if you got a job, if you already learned to cook somewhere, I mean, you can learn recipes off fucking YouTube. You
can, yeah.
It's like
anything you learn in those fucking schools, you can learn on YouTube.
Yeah.
And YouTube's free.
Basically, what they're training you is to be able to cook under pressure, cook multiple dishes at once. Other than that, the recipes can be pulled out of the air.
They're not even training them that.
And then what is it?
It's like, here's how to saute something. Don't burn yourself.
Dude, because everyone I worked with, not everyone, I had to say 75% of people I worked with that went to cooking school were fucking slow. They had no urgency, you know, and they're the cats that will sit there, oh, this is so perfect. They sit there, take a long time to make it nice, or maybe something like that, and it's not that much nicer than someone else who could whip it up faster. And because it's not like you're painting anything,
Well,
you're just making the ratio in the center of a plate.
How many restaurants do people actually go to where? I mean, I guess that also depends on your demographic and what kind of job you're going for. But most restaurants do try to support at least some sort of volume on a night to make good money. Mm-hmm. So you got to be able to cook for volume. Which, yeah, you got to have presentation, but you got to have speed.
And you have to have experience, and that's the most important part of any back class employee. Like, I've never worked. Okay, I've worked for people who've gone to school for culinary stuff, but why they got hired wasn't the fact they had a fucking diploma that they paid like $120,000 for, $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I'm trying to say, but they also had 20 years of experience working with people who knew their shit, and the people who knew their shit, they learned it because they worked with people who knew their shit, and it's all about experience. And when you fuck up a menu, how to fix it instead of like.
Oh, absolutely. And that's honestly, that's a really good point as far as like even when we go into bartenders. And this is actually, if you're going to school to be a bartender, everyone out there, you're fucking wasting your time. A lot of restaurants will throw that shit away if they're actually really nice ones. Because, for example, a lot of skills you learn are moving up. And it's less about, excuse me, we're slamming shit down here. People are yelling down. We got kids running by the fucking studio. But, anyway.
Probably pay your newspaper boy off, man. I'm just telling you.
Pay your newspaper boy off. Anyway,
I want that $5.
Anyway, anyone can learn a fucking drink or a recipe online, but when you're a bartender, you actually got to deal with different people, come in, talk to them, be urgent, learn how to do shit. So if you come in, hey, I got a fucking degree, I learned how to make some drinks, so like, that doesn't fucking really mean shit. You got to be able to fucking work around, be urgent. You know, it's a really serious thing.
Well, then even traditional recipes, each restaurant takes their own take on it. So then whatever you've known, you've only gotten the minor basic knowledge, but you can get that experience in 6 months just actually reading a book.
Yeah.
Or working behind the line, watching them.
I knew a cat here in Seattle who opened different restaurants and bars and shit, and they said they would never hire anyone who went to bartending school. They would throw it the fuck away. And I was like, interesting. And then when I heard about it, I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
I mean, if you're in like maybe a high volume nightclub or something like that, and that's the only thing, but restaurants, no. It's not the kind. You want servers. You want people that just can pump out drinks. That's not what people pay for.
No.
I've thrown away, like, back to the cooking thing, I've thrown away resumes back when I was part of a hiring process because it's like, this kid just graduated cooking school and has never worked a job in his life. And then there's this other dude who's like, well, you know, I worked at fucking Dairy Queen and I can flip a burger, and we hired that guy instead because he would work for less and actually knew how to cook a burger.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, this other guy, he might be able to cook a burger, but he's never had a job in his fucking life. So
well, and if he has a good reference, then you already know he has work ethic, where the other guy has got zero. That's almost like the
he
credit
didn't get
system.
fired from Dairy
You need
Queen.
credit to get something good, but how do you get credit? You can't really get credit.
That's a fucking deal. You know what's weird is I'm also, as a cook, someone who makes stuff hourly, I was getting more nervous because when I did cook, because I used to cook and then I serve now, but when I did cook, I would be like, oh, I don't want to make too much hourly because if they're doing layoffs, I'll just be like, oh, I pay him too much. Boom, I just get someone else because I don't really care about quality. Because a lot of restaurants really, I mean, they say they care about doing everything. They just want someone who fucking gets paid low that pumps it out decently. And they may feel better about bitching if they do a bad job, but they'd rather fucking have a half-ass job than paying a lot of money to fucking, like, have a perfect job. I don't know why.
That's a bottom line thing. That all depends on the owner and the general manager and the way they want to run their establishment. That's a reflection on their type of business.
Oh, the worst was those chain restaurants. The fucking Red Robins and the Applebee's.
I just won't even really go to those anymore.
Oh, dude, it's fucking gross. Applebee's are the fucking worst, man. I worked at one, and it was really fucking weird. And you'd have to give a spiel at the table. I don't know if they do that nowadays. Fuck, I haven't worked on one for like over 10 years. But I did one for like a summer. And you'd have to give a spiel to a table. And there's people that would, you know, the secret shoppers that would get hired. They'd fill out a survey or do some shit. And they'd come in and they would judge you and make you see if you did all this shit. And then they would rate you on it. If you got a below score, you could get in trouble, written up. But if you hit all these things like asking if they want a specific drink, seem like you're concerned about something, you had to do all these specific things. If you did do it, you get like $100. But if you didn't, you could get it written up or in trouble. But the thing is, some of these people are fucking crazy. they're not psychologically evaluated to be like trustworthy.
It's like an online thing they fill out. Do you want to be a secret shopper? We'll give you a gift card to go eat here. That's how they do that process. And then fill this out.
Right, and we had one dude who came in, it was when I was working there, who had an imaginary friend and was freaking the server out. It happened to be a fucking shopper. It was like, Jesus Christ. Who knows what could have happened in his mind?
That's kind of amazing, though. I would hire Stu as a friend and just be secret shoppers.
Oh, Mr. Blinkers, you don't like the way she looked at you? She didn't offer you enough dessert? You fat fucker. Dude, I feel bad asking people, did you save room for dessert? You know what I mean? It goes back to the whole Greg Giraldo bit when he was talking about people eating too much and servers should come out and bring fucking plungers and shove them into people's mouths. But honestly, when people eat food and they're like, oh, he's offered dessert. It's like, I don't offer people, I've offered people dessert rarely. I mean, one of the reasons is because I want them to fuck out of my section so I can get more people in, get the money flowed, because $5 dessert keeps someone there possibly a half an hour.
It's true.
And if that's the case, that's 10 more bucks I could have as a tip instead of fucking 50 cents, maybe a ratio that would have made for the projected extra tip off that bill.
True.
And so, like, I was like, fuck, I don't offer desserts. Fuck your desserts, man. You know. Like, I'll offer them a dessert drink if it's
You're
like...
trying to fatten people up and slim them down at the same time. You live a very conflicted life.
I am. Well, no, I'm trying to make fucking money. I'm a fucking salesman. I'm not a fucking, like... I'm not Ben Stiller's character on Happy Gilmore. You will go to sleep, or I will put you to sleep. You're in my world now, Grandma. Maybe in the daytimes. Oh, man. I was just thinking about that Walker group of fucking geriatrics I had in one day. And there was like, and people know I hate serving old people. 25% old people I really like. But like, a lot of them are just bitchy and whatever. But like I said, they all came in with their fucking like, obstructed so many tables with all their walkers. And all the management and staff were laughing at me because I had that table. And it was like 20 people. They're like, because it was me. And they thought it was so awesome. They were so satisfied like I had to deal with it. But honestly... they were all really fucking sweet. And I actually was having a good time. And I walked them all out, you know. Yeah. And then some guy at the table goes, you're a real hero. some guy actually at a table at the bar while I was walking about, you're a hero. And if you only knew me, going like, fucking hate old people, fuck them. You know. And it just looks like him. It's like, that can be so easy to be a congressman. I just had to walk an old lady out or be on a fucking cover of something holding a bird with oil on it going, why? Just fucking, you're awesome. No, it doesn't matter what happened to this guy. What this guy did.
You should definitely hire a photographer next time you're in that situation. Get some pictures of you being a hero.
Oh yeah, just staging some shit.
Out of anything card.
I had this film. I wish I still had it. In, some fucking bullshit earth science class we had. We had to make a video for the environment. So me and a couple kids, a couple of my friends, one of them actually lives out here. We made this video, and I go, okay, here's what we're going to do. We went by the lake. I threw a bunch of garbage in the lake, then we videotaped it, and I go, look at this trash. People are glittering all over the place. So we're all, like, bitching about it. And then we go to the mall, and we're cornering people. Like, we corner this lady, go, do you litter? Do you litter? Would you throw shit away? And they're all getting scared, and we cornered this girl who was working at a freaking retail outlet. We weren't trying to bully anyone. We were just being total assholes and not really thinking about other people. And we were like, so, do you throw trash away? How often? And she looked like she's trying to get the manager, and then we chased these people down, and these kids who were like, they looked, they were freaked out. And they played all the videos in class. They didn't actually play this video. The teacher,
like, this one is just a borderline felony again.
the teacher gave us a C-, and she goes, that was really funny, you guys, but like that girl looked kind of scared. We weren't trying to scare anyone. It was just like
teachers were awesome.
No, she was. Her husband was actually a senator. And he was a cool-ass fucking senator. He was a Democrat, and he was also a history teacher, and he would literally cuss in class and swear. And when we learned about Manifest Destiny, when I was younger and learned about Manifest Destiny, they go, oh, and we got all the land towards the West Coast. When we, like, it was like some huge victory. But I liked him because he was a teacher that said, that's when a bunch of fucking Anglo-Saxons raped a bunch of fucking Indians and took their land and then named it something like awesome and epic. And it's just a bunch of bullshit. They just took a bunch of people's land. And I liked how real he was about that because it's fucking true. And we learned shit in a really fucked up way.
Whoever wins writes the history books.
That is true. Absolutely fucking true.
Wins. like even a
Whoever like
who has
steamrolls a continent
guns
full of
and
people.
takes a tank next to bows and arrows.
Oh shit! I was gonna get on the Mormon topic, but did I ever tell you about that crazy fucking bitch who came with her family and then complained about me to management and how she would never hire me at a place? Did I ever tell you about that lady?
No.
Okay.
Never heard that one.
There's this girl I was working with, and she goes, "Oh, I have a table that's gonna transfer to you because you can hold 6 people. She can only 4." I go, "Do you want to still take?" She goes, "No, I don't want to take it." Just like I'm like, okay, I'm ready for a fucking challenge. And there's like 4 kids, like roughly like 20s, and kind of this old bitch, and she's probably like, I don't know, fucking 50, 60, I don't know. She just like, just hunched over, kind of cranky, and all the kids are kind of cool. And then when she was ordering shit, she was just really weird about it, unsure. She wanted this specific item, and she's like, "Oh, I don't know if I want it." I was like, "Okay, if someone doesn't know if they want something, I'm gonna try to talk them out of it." Because they have it set in their mind, they can potentially complain. I'm going to waste money. I'll have a manager comp it, and I'm going to look like an asshole. Because when managers comp food, all they see is, I'm not saying all they see is, but if you're a dickhead fucking number cruncher, you're like, "Oh, this guy did something," and they'll always think about that. And I guess not really, but anyway, this fucking bitch wanted something. I talked to her out. She tried to talk her out. She still got it, and then it came. She read on the menu. She goes, "It was a fish and chips." She goes, "It comes with a side of dill tartar sauce." She goes, "Are you gonna pour that all over my plate?" And I said, "Did I tell you about this?"
No.
She goes, and I go,
"You just dawned another story."
I go,
Sorry.
"No, I'm not." And she goes, "Do you want any ketchup or anything else with your fries?" I always say that so they don't waste my time. So I'm not come back, "Oh, could you fucking ranch?" Even though they might forget because they're idiotic anyway. And she goes, "Are you gonna pour ketchup all over my plate?" I go, "No, it's gonna be isolated for your personal distribution." But no, I got it. And then she it was really fucking weird. She orders, all the kids order food. I bring them out shit, and then I check back up on them. Like her son ordered a steak, and I go, "How is everything?" She goes, "You didn't bring the steak sauce. You didn't bring the A1." I go, "Oh, he didn't ask for it because we don't traditionally do it because we have a little butter we put on it, and we think that's good to go. It's not like a fucking bonanza or whatever the fuck." And I go, "Yeah, I get it." And I poured in a little ramekin, and I gave it to her. Ramekin's a little small bowl for to hold sauces and shit if you don't work at a restaurant. But she goes, "I want the bottle," and I'm like, "Well, we don't have it in bottles because we get in big jugs because we use it to mix in with some butter for the steak sauce, And she got pissed off at me because we didn't have a bottle. And then while we were cashing out, I wanted to get rid of this bitch because she just had this weird aura. When you get a guest and they're weird and they seem kind of crazy in an insane way, and they just
throws you off, Mark.
Yeah, it throws you off. You're like, this lady's gonna snap. She's a time bomb, and I just want her to fuck out before something happens. And anyway, I was like, okay, I'm gonna give you guys some boxes, get it to go. She goes, "I'll take the check." And I go, "Okay." And I grabbed her the check, and then while I gave her the check, she goes, "I need the box." I go, "I'll get the box." And my initial reason for that was, when I give this stupid bitch a check, I'm giving her the time to pay for this, right? And then when she's done, I'll give her the box because I don't want to give her 2 things at once because I don't want to confuse this stupid bitch and have her decide between them. I want to cut time that much. I want to be that efficient. And anyway, she's walking out. She goes, "Can I talk to your manager?" And I said, "Yeah, is everything all right?" She goes, "Everything was horrible. You were so horrible." And I go, "What?" Just like that. She goes, "You forgot so many things." I go, "What did I forget?" She goes, "Steak sauce." I go, "You didn't order steak sauce." And she goes, "And the steak was overcooked and it was horrible." I go, "Why didn't you tell me that when I asked you about the fucking steak?" I didn't say fucking, but I go, "Why did you say that?" She goes, "They didn't want me to say anything." And usually if some fucking old bitch says, "They didn't want me to say anything," it's because they know her and they know she fucking runs her mouth and it's totally inappropriate. And they're just like, "Bitch, shut up. You're already embarrassing us." And when she would say weird shit at the table, like earlier when she talked about the ketchup and the tartar, her kids would kind of have that half laugh, half like, someone's watching us and I'm kind of embarrassed that this is part of our lives laugh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then she starts talking about, "And then you did bring me the box when you brought a check," and I told her my reasons behind it. She goes, "Oh, it's just horrible, you're horrible." And I walked away, and one of my colleagues, he was so pissed off, and he says to her, we call him Opski. I'm going to call him that because to save the name. And he goes, "What are you saying about him?" And she goes, "I would never hire him if I owned a restaurant." She started walking out, and he says to her, "I hope you drive real fast." And then, so she goes out in the parking lot, and there's one of our managers who's not on the clock yet, just having a cigarette. She walks right up to her, just like close talker, walked up to her face and goes, "Do you work here?" And she goes, "Yeah." She goes, "This place is so horrible. You have the worst service in the world." And all of a sudden, her son comes behind and grabs this woman and goes, "Everything was great. Go, run." And just like that,
Wow.
like fucking. And then she stayed out in the parking lot walking back and forth. Our other manager that she was bitching me about inside was kind of hiding behind a fence post trying to have a cigarette and not intermingle with her. And they're like, we had to go tell the owners and all this shit. I was like, God, what the fuck, man? I was training some girl the other night and she says, "Everyone says you get the weirdest fucking people. I never got weird people until I fucking like trained with you and I saw these weirdos you get."
I seem to attract them myself. I don't understand it. I think it also goes to the fact because we also like to educate people, so we have to have a little bit more FaceTime with them than some people choose to do.
Bring out
we
their
gotta
hide.
actually have a conversation with them, and I get to hear the crazy just kind of leak out of them. But you're talking about tartar sauce, right?
Yeah,
I walked up to the table. It's not even my table. This guy waves me down, and he's like, "Do you have real tartar sauce?" And I was like, I don't understand the question. You have tartar sauce in front of you. I'm pretty sure it's real. Like, I didn't search. Like, you didn't. I'm trying to figure out what he means by this.
Some kind of
So
chemical
like,
you
you
get in
have
the
tartar
sweet
sauce
sauce.
in front of you, sir. I can see that. He's like, it's not real tartar sauce. I was like, can you clarify? What do you mean
Like,
by real
what's
tartar
the-
sauce? He goes, do you have tartar sauce without dill in it? Oh, no, we don't. And then I just walked
Is there
away.
tartar sauce
Like,
without dill in it?
Isn't like tartar sauce like dill pickles and mayonnaise?
Then
Like
he,
very,
oh no, then he
two
asked for
ingredients?
mayonnaise, just mayonnaise.
So he was.
So he just wanted.
He didn't know what fucking tartar was. He was like a child that got lied to. Who
Wasn't
liked the
even my
Caesar.
table. Wasn't even my table. I was just walking by. Just happened to deal with that.
Oh my fucking god. That's now that it's summer, we have what we call the patio people. Do you have a patio where you work?
Yeah.
And patio people are hit or miss because a lot of them are really fucking entitled, and they go out and they're like, "Oh, I would like to get on the patio." And then what happens usually is how staff works is they don't want to have a bunch of fucking servers hanging out waiting to get a table because it's not fair. They don't make money. They go by volume. And so there can be one person on the patio, but if a bunch of people come in at the same time, they'll be like, "Oh, I see tables out there. Why can't I sit down?" It's like there's one fucking person trying to get drinks for everyone. You're not going to get the best service, and you have more of a chance to bitch at us. And also, patio people will sit out there in the sun forever, and they suck down more water, more iced tea because they got to get hydrated, and then you're really losing money. But if people are drinking beer, I'm happy. But if people are not drinking beer, just like it's really fucking annoying.
I'm just happy to be working outside again for the time being. And at the end of summer, I'm gonna hate it. I'm gonna be ready to go back to the winter stuff. But
Oh, really? That's
it's
cool.
entertaining for now.
Do you have comfortable work gear?
Yeah, it works out.
Sombrero.
It just adds more tables for us. We run such a low volume for our servers that we don't actually have more servers at work. We just have more tables to take care of now. So I got to work in overdrive, but makes it fun.
Did I tell you someone from Verizon tried to come in and hire me? Well, I had this table, and once in a while I'll get people who try to hire me for their business because they're like, "Oh, you're very good at being charming and getting people to give a fuck about you." Knowing me now and hear me on this podcast, you would not think that. Yeah, people are like, "Oh, you did such a good job describing this and this." And then this one girl came in who used to actually work with me, and she's like, "Hey, how much do you make here?" And I told her I make is ridiculous, and she goes, "Really? You're great. You're a great salesman. You should come work at blah blah blah. I'll guarantee you $50K, paid time off, all this shit, free travel." And she goes, "I work at Verizon." I go, "Really?" And yeah, and it's really cool. Everyone I work with is really cool. And she's been really sweet. Actually, I feel bad kind of mocking this in a way because she was actually being really sweet and trying to hook me up. She's like, "Oh, I feel so awesome. I hope you come in there. I'm going to talk to someone. I want to get you hired right away." And I go, "Okay." And me, I fucking hate Verizon because they got out of paying fucking taxes. And I hate fucking corporations who find lobbyists and lawyers to make fucking loopholes for themselves so they get out of paying taxes. And the same people who support them will fucking support not food assistance, but they make so much money, all these higher ups, and the fucking workers make so much less. They need food assistance to survive the fucking, pay increase and all the shit the cost of living. And so we ended up paying for it in our taxes, which is some shit corporations should be paying. You know, minimum wage, yada yada. Yada. Anyway, I really fucking hate Verizon. So my goal was go in there, put on a nice suit. And I went in, and I was trying to fuck with them as much as I could. And we went in the back area. You know, these squares look like they work there, right? They're like wearing their polo shirts, like, "Hey, sir, I'm gonna fucking help you." I didn't mean to throw a gay accent to make fun of gay people or anything like that. I just wanted to.
You're just making fun of people who wear polo shirts.
I wanted to give a premature like a lisp in the same way of a fucking Simpsons. "Oh, sir," but like sorry, sir, not like a sorry, sir. Anyway, but
because in line right
world of difference. Anyway, like they're just fucking so nerdy. And I go to this back corner, and these two cats are in the room and just talking to me. So, blah 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 blah. And I go, by the way, first thing I said is I hate Verizon. I hate how they get out of paying taxes. I hate that they're fucking blah blah blah. I went off on it. That didn't deter them. I want to see how far I can push them. And they're like, "Oh, well, really? You seem very passionate about what you're thinking." And then I started swearing, just throwing in some fucking sexual comments here and there, and just telling some jokes and shit. They're like, "Oh, so when you go to our HR area, they're not fucking backing down." I'm like, "Shit, dude." And I go, finally I go, "Do you guys have a piss test?" And they go, "Oh, yeah, we do." But I go, "Oh, sorry, I do drugs every day. Have a wonderful day. You guys have been amazing, but not worth it to me." And I walked out
every day.
I walked out there, and they're just like, "What?"
Whatever. That was probably the best part of their day.
It was like two really nerdy black cats. They were really cool cats, but like they're probably like, "What the fuck is this fucking weirdo doing?" And then the girl who recommended these called me on the phone. "How'd the interview go?" I go, "I can't do drugs at this place, evidently." And she goes, "No, they don't really care about that. You just got past piss." I go, "Nah, I just told him. I told her what happened." And she goes, "Really?" And she starts laughing and goes, "That's fucking weird. Never ever heard from her again." I saw her come in not too long ago. She did not make eye contact with me or anything. I had this guy try to hire me from, was it Altel? Not Altel. Oh, fuck. It's a shady pyramid scheme like corporate. You're Alway? Amway? Amway. Have you heard of Amway?
Sounds like a train.
Yeah, I've never heard of it too. And
It's a shady pyramid?
he was someone he was someone I served, and he called me up at work. He goes, "Hey, you busy?" "Oh, you're probably busy. I want to meet up with you and talk about potential business idea with some rich people I know." I'm like, "All right." And we show up. He meets me at a Starbucks, and I don't like coffee. I think coffee is fucking gross as shit. But I buy coffee so I don't feel like I'm loitering. He's not. He's just there to take up space like a fucking asshole. And I noticed that right away. And he was just like breaking down this. "So, where do you buy? Where do you go? Where do you shop at?" And I'm like, and I told him some places. So he draws circles. So here's you buying stuff just so fucking obnoxiously to me. I'm like, "Okay, and what if you were able to get cash back from that?" I just fucking I was just laughing at him and ridiculing him and telling him how he could have done this better and just got to the shit. I go, "I'm not an idiot. Just don't fucking cut the shit. What do you want me to do?" He goes, "Well, fucking Amway is, you've heard about them getting sued and all this stuff." I go, "No, I don't subscribe to Boring Business Weekly. I don't know what you're fucking talking about." And he's like, "So, I have an online store, and you can buy stuff. If you want to get something at Best Buy, you could buy it through my site, and I get a little thing back from it and all this." I'm like, "Well, do you have this and this and this?" He goes, "No, we just do Best Buy and Barnes and Nobles." I'm like, "So you basically want me to do this thing with you and be like a seller, but I gotta talk my friends into doing an extra step online to buy something." So I go, "Oh, you want to buy Barnes and Nobles? Would you like to take 10 more minutes out of your day to fucking help me make like fucking a half a cent so I can fucking look good to some other asshole who makes a half a more cent?" It's not even. I mean, I'm exaggerating, of course, but it was really annoying. So I just started making fun of him because he was in a business casual top. I was wearing a suit as always, and then he was in a fucking not as always, but as always when I want to be obnoxious to people. And he was wearing kind of dress pants, and he was wearing Reeboks and shit. And I go, "Hey, brah." I go,
Brah.
And it's really obnoxiously. I'm like, "So I noticed you got up here, down here covered. What's with the fucking Reeboks? I mean, why didn't you go all the way?" He goes, "Oh, well, I gotta go work at Petco after this."
Oh.
Oh, anyway.
Gotta start somewhere, but that doesn't sound promising.
We're still talking about Amway because I just looked that shit up on Wikipedia and that sounds depressing as fuck.
What did it say?
Oh, dude, like, the average person doesn't make any fucking money, and like the other average people make like $100 a month for doing that shit.
Dude, it was
terrible.
It was like a bunch of overproduced stores. Like, and he gets, we're partners. You'll be partners with the store. And I was like, I thought you knew rich people that could do shit. He goes, I do. You want to come to this location like 2 hours away and hear a bunch of people that do it? I'm like, no. I go, chances are there's gonna be no bar there. I gotta figure out a way to get back and not drive. I'm
I
like,
do drugs every day. Don't you understand this?
yeah, that's different. Yeah. I should have made that apparent. But he was such a little tool, though. But he looked like a little weasel. He was only a little pretty boy weasel. And I don't know. I immediately tried to find him on Facebook just to fucking see like what his deal was. Oh my god. Pyramid schemes, man.
I'm lucky to have not.
It's not technically
Lucky to have
pyramid
not
scheme.
had talked to someone. Okay.
Technically, it's
What it is basically you're paying for free marketing in a sense because these people think they're earning a wage, but they're not, and they're going out and trying to promote this to get money, and they're not making actual money for the relation to the amount of work they're doing.
Yeah, it's a fucking waste of time, man. It is a fucking huge waste of time. I don't know, man. And the kid was telling me a story and shit. He was like, yeah, I was working at Petco one day, and this rich woman came in, and I started recommending products to her. And she saw something in me, man. She saw something that sparked, and that's the same thing I see in you, man. He didn't say it like that or even say that.
Okay, I was like...
He did. The first part of the story was...
motivational
Yeah, the first part of the story was true, but the second part of the story was like me just mocking it. But yeah, it's fucking like... Even when I was watching the Always Sunny and they're like, we're selling knives, D. It's like, dude, who does that shit? Who goes door to door? I've had people stop at my doors like, hey, you want to buy some steaks? I got some Iowa steaks.
Yes,
it's
that
like,
is frightening.
you
I
creepy...
don't want to buy that meat from you. I don't know where you come from. Your van is like not
Door-to-door
even
steak
labeled.
salesman?
Yes, I've had that happen.
Yes,
like
dude.
Twice.
What the fuck?
I used to get it once a year
Send them
here.
to my place?
Yeah,
Totally
absolutely.
buy that shit.
Yeah.
Door-to-door steak salesman? Like,
But they were incredibly expensive. But like allegedly they were good. And when I grilled them with any questions, they didn't know. You know what I mean? One of those people. Was it grass fed? Can I see their dossier? You know, like they like. Well, I don't know what you're talking about. It was good.
I got
He
a
looks.
truck full.
And you know, maybe it's quality because he looks like one of the guys on Texas Chainsaw Massacre and shit. He's wearing fucking Oshkosh Bagosh overalls. He obviously knows meat. But then again, if I eat it, I don't want to become retarded like him. So,
Gosh, gosh.
by the way, sorry for retarded people. I didn't mean to compare you to these fucking rednecks. I apologize. That was a bad term to throw out. But those meat guys are dicks. That'd be funnier if it was some porn star who's like, yeah, you want some dick? What a big fat dick. I'd be like, well, that's cool you're offering that because...
Door-to-door Dixman.
Yeah, there'd be a lot of
I've
people
seen a few
buy
documentaries that start that way.
Another
Sometimes they
Folletti
disguise
activity.
themselves as pizza men,
Oh, fuck.
plumbers.
Sometimes they disguise themselves as...
Who the fuck was that? I want to say Greg Giraldo again. He was making some joke about some fat guy. Oh, yeah, he's dead. He was my...
Dead as fuck now.
He was my favorite fucking stand-up comedian. He's also a Harvard lawyer, too. He just gave up on fucking law and said, fuck it. And he was talking about some fat guy in a roast and says, hey, he's so fat, when the porn starts, he comes when the pizza gets delivered. But, like, Greg Giraldo, actually, Joe Rogan brought up this in his podcast a while ago. And this is really cool. Do you remember Tough Crowd with Colin Quinn? It was
Yeah, barely.
It was alive a little bit in the 90s.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was got replaced by the fucking Redneck Comedy Club or whatever that fucking thing is. But it was like Colin Quinn and Dennis Leary was on it sometimes. Sarah Silverman was on it. Fucking Stephen Colbert before he was on, when he got started in the Daily Show was on it, and a bunch of like East Coast comedians and shit. And there was one part of the show where Dennis Leary was like talking about bombing someplace or just running his mouth, and Greg Giraldo said there's a nonviolent conflict resolution, and he gets all fucking as Joe Rogan says cunty with him. He goes, oh really? It's a nonviolent resolution? And then, you know, fucking Great Giraldo just being a wise ass. And he kept making comments about saying to Giraldo, oh, this guy's got jokes. This guy's got so many jokes. He probably writes a bunch of jokes before the show. He goes, that's what we do, Dennis. We do comedy writing. If you did that, maybe your show would be on. And they were like, they almost got in a fight and shit. But the thing about Dennis Leary, dude, he's a fucking comedy thief. All his jokes he fucking stole. He stole them from Bill Hicks. He stole them from fucking Louis C.K. That asshole song he did, that was from Louis C.K. He totally ripped it off from him.
Really?
And Louis C.K. Sorry. Luis. I'm gonna call him Luis. Like
Fucking
he's
Luis.
He's coming back, isn't it? We have another Luisi.
I've never actually watched his show, but I remember him
They're pretty
making
entertaining.
comments about that and fucking just like how Dennis Leary when Bill Hicks. When Dennis Leary was opening up for Bill Hicks, Dennis Leary saw Bill Hicks doing a bunch of fucking stand-up, right?
Yeah.
And so he stole his bit and then said it before, you know, Bill Hicks went on. And so when people saw Bill Hicks do it, they're like, oh, I just fucking heard this. Totally ripped him off.
Wow.
He should be banned from comedy. He's a total dick. Carlos Mencia is the same way. He's actually a total fraud. Stole some of Joe Rogan's fucking stand-up. Stole, like, George Lopez's stand-up. George Lopez commented that he watched 17 minutes of his stand-up, said that was all his. And thing about Carlos Mencia, he's not even fucking Mexican. He's not Mexican at all. He's half Honduran, half German. He's a total fraud. His name's like Ned Holstrom or something like that, or Holden. But he's a total fucking fraud, and he's famous for being a Latino and shit. But he's totally full of shit.
It's actually a Japanese woman named Hakiro.
But like, yeah, if you ever get a chance, Google Carlos Mencia, Joe Rogan, and he actually showed up one of his stand-ups and got on the stage, took a mic and started fucking calling him out, head of the comics, saying, you stole my joke. And he was like, you stole my joke, you're a fucking thief, you're a fucking bitch. And then Carlos Mencia, yeah, you must like me too much. I got a green card right here. Just trying to act Mexican and shit. It was totally bullshit.
I would be terrified if Joe Rogan came at me.
Yeah, no
Have
shit.
you ever seen
Dude.
that death stare he's got on UFC with that fucking announcer that he does that shit with?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm not trying to sound too excited. I was like, UFC is kind of boring to me personally.
I like Joe Rogan though. He's the
But,
fucking
like,
shit.
His announcer has this his co-announcer has this death stare every time Joe Rogan talks, and like lately I've been noticing randomly that he's kind of adopted it, made it part of him, and he's got the creepy stare now too. So Joe Rogan's coming at you with that creepy stare. Fuck that. Sorry, I've been drinking. I don't
It's
know
all
what
good,
I'm
dude.
talking about.
I like when Joe Rogan went
Joe
after
Rogan's
fucking.
creepy eyes.
Yeah. Do you hear when he went after Dr. Drew about that pot fucking conversation?
No, I didn't.
Dr. Drew was on his show talking about how pot's more addictive and it leads to harder drugs, and it fucking it's stronger, it's more dangerous, and just talking about it has horrible withdrawals and just talking about how fucked up it is. And
Dr. Drew?
yeah, it's Dr. Drew, and then so Joe Rogan and fucking who's the guy from Super High Me? What's his fucking name?
I don't actually know the guy's
That was
name.
so high when I watched it.
Yeah,
He's actually like one of those stoner comics. Fuck, I can't remember it. Anyway,
Yeah, that's not.
sorry if you ever end up listening to this guy who's actually did the movie Ted Danson. That was it.
Can we call it Ted Danson just so this? Whole
Ted Danson, fuck. Anyway,
Ted Danson.
anyway, Joe Rogan had a good point. He said, "We're the bodies, man. We're the fucking bodies. I don't see any fucking bodies. What's the problem?" And yeah, it's more fucking toxic and harmful now because it's filled with more THC. And that's a really good fucking point because I remember like living in the Midwest and we had to smoke so much shit. We'd have to go through our fucking weed and get rid of seeds, get rid of fucking stems, and you had to smoke a whole joint to get fucking
you
high.
just said I gotta smoke so much
Yeah.
of this shit. Whereas now I have to smoke a quarter of the amount.
That's the fucking point.
and
man.
that's
Yeah.
the whole bad part of it is the smoking part,
Mhm.
not the THC in your system.
Well, there's also the argument where like I assume when like my granddaddy and my dad were like growing and smoking. I'm not saying they did, but like people in those generations were growing weed. It was like they fucking threw some seeds in the ground, they grew some weed, and it was done.
Yeah.
Now like people our age, we're like Miracle Grow. Let's put these fucking chemicals all over our weed, and then like they don't flush the plants, which is giving them nothing but straight water for a few weeks before harvesting them. And so next thing you know, you clip this bud and you're like smoking this weed, and you get the weed stuff, but you're also smoking fucking Miracle Grow, and I don't know what's in that. But
That's true.
it's
So you gotta know your
kind of like
growers.
steroids.
No, you grow. No,
Know your
no
grower.
shit. Monsanto's trying to
But that's
fucking
the same
make
thing with your food
Uruguay seed.
nowadays.
What's up?
It's the same thing with your food nowadays. It's all genetically modified, organic, pesticide free, things like that. Like, I know my grower.
Yeah, no, they don't label weed that way.
No, I know, but I'm saying, like,
I'm
when
not
you
sure
have
I'd pay
when you
more
have
for
that
it.
personal interaction with somebody that's actually through growing that process, then you get to know how it's actually done. But yeah, not everybody has those options.
Oh, man, like, if I was growing weed to sell, I would just fucking steroid the shit out of it, just make a lot of money, be like the Mark McGuire of fucking.
There's just an asterisk next to your name.
He sold a lot of weed. It may have killed somebody though.
It was, and another point Rogan had was like, and I love this point. He said, if you do something and you're a piece of shit because you get high, it's just because weed beats you to it and you're a piece of shit anyway. I mean, it just beats you to it. It was no difference. And he went on to say withdrawals because the doctor was talking about withdrawals. And you get withdrawals from everything, man. From caffeine, fucking.
Go have a Coke.
Mm-hmm. Even though, I don't know why, but that'd be sweet if cocaine was somehow legalized. I don't know why I'm saying that, but
I second that.
as a server,
It may not be illegal in the foreseeable future.
honestly, I think servers should be coked out. I think as a server, if I was coked out, I'd be so happy. I'd make business deals with every table. Actually, I'd go in the bathroom. I'd wait for them to go in the bathroom, and I'd go in the bathroom and be like, oh, dude, we should open up a fucking pottery store. A fucking pottery bar, brother. We should open it up, dog.
I've been at Denny's way too many times at 3 a.m. to agree with that situation. Like, fuck that.
No, I can't wait till they start allowing a little bit of marijuana in restaurants.
Oh.
Put a little aperitif on the table.
The green cuisine.
Keep going. I'm going to
No,
put
you
sun
get
down.
a little aperitif and a little smoke before the meal, and then let it sit in, and then watch them order.
Oh, he's totally gone now.
Yeah,
So
now
say
we have to
anything,
talk.
just make annoying noises that he's going to get edit out later. Be like,
Who's the dying giraffe on South Park?
he's going to have to listen to all this shit in the playback too. So there I was, punching a baby in the face. It wasn't my baby. It just looked at me funny in a safe way. I was like, fuck you, baby, and your gluten intolerance. I bet you're allergic
And your
to
gluten intolerance.
You're fucking allergic to my weed, too, aren't you?
Oh, we got so far off topic today.
Well, we had a noble start, I think.
Yeah, we always
Because
do.
People who bitch about gluten, fuck them.
And tartar sauce. And a
And gluten-free tartar
and
sauce?
a geriatric motorcade.
The worst would be an 80-year-old woman bitching about her gluten-free tartar sauce. And then complaining to the manager because she gets steak sauce with her fish and chips.
Although whenever you wait on an older person that's dementia, it always makes it entertaining.
That's not dealing with drunk people, though, really.
Yeah.
Hey, he's back. Well, let's stop.
Sorry, I left the microphone on.
Oh, no. You're going to
I
have
had
to
to
edit
take
all
a
that
piss.
shit out.
No, I'm not going to do it. Was it that bad? Do you need editing?
You'll hear.
Well, anyway, I probably won't have time to edit, so.
Game on.
Anyway, speaking of, since we're out here in Seattle, I got fucking addicted to rye whiskey, and I'm not being paid, even though it should be. Oh, fuck.
You should see the way he's
I had to
feeling
piss,
right
so
now,
I turned my
man.
microphone off. Here we go. You. There we go.
You should
That's
have
a lot
brought
better.
that microphone with you while you were...
No, I almost said I to shut off. I'm like, oh, I'm about to take a piss. Anyway, this is John Jacobs rye whiskey, and fuck, I used to hate whiskey. I used to shoot it to get a buzz. What's up?
Nothing.
I used to hate whiskey, but this shit's so, it has this Novocaine-like effect when you sip it, and I don't know, it's just fucking smooth as shit.
Novocaine like.
So I often compare my favorite drinks to the dentist.
Yeah, but I don't know, it's smooth, and it's made in Seattle, man. It's actually really cool, and actually fucking made
It's
some.
called John Jacob, though.
Yeah, John Jacob. John Jacobs, go
Available
bam!
at stores in Seattle.
You know what's funny is you can buy this at Bevmo for $30. You go to a local liquor store, it's like $60. Oh, this local liquor store, that might be fucking.
That's like the Undercutter's Pizza booze market.
Yeah, they're fucking awesome. They have the fucking lambics I like, man. Did I tell you I made a distilling machine?
Fucking delicious, though.
Isn't that fucking delicious?
John Jacob, you did well.
Dude, we drank this at the Dillinger Escape Lunch show. We just fucking sipped on this, put in little mini juice bottles.
That's awesome.
It worked out pretty good, man. It was smooth, no chaser, man.
Fun fact, that's the 6th time I've missed Dillinger's Day playing in Seattle.
You sucker. You better not miss
6
Blood Brothers when they come up.
sticks.
Don't miss Blood Brothers. They're playing the showbox.
I couldn't believe they did back together. That's
The Schoolyard Heroes is playing a fucking bumper shoot. A bunch of bands fucking getting back together. But yeah, when I saw that, I was like, yes! You know what's funny? Because I saw a friend of mine who was hanging out with one of those cats in the picture, and I was like, oh my god, you're hanging out with the drummer of one of my favorite bands. And, he liked it. But I was like, that's fucking cool.
He liked it.
He liked it.
That makes me feel so good when somebody likes something.
Dude. As Seattle cats out here, Blood Brothers are the shit. Anywho, we'll fucking end the podcast. We're probably fucking an hour into it, but thank you, Bob, for coming on. Always a pleasure.
Fuck gluten allergies.
Yeah, fuck gluten allergies. We talked about that for a brief second. We actually talked about that more before we started recording.
Don't worry, you'll hear the rest of that conversation.
But hopefully next week, a gentleman who owned a restaurant in Tacoma will be on.
We've only been talking about that for like
no shit.
5 months, 6 months now.
We'll have a guest sometime.
Yeah.
We'll have some guy.
Someday we'll kidnap
We'll have
him.
some guy, dude.
Finally get his ass in here.
We'll have some
cat.
cat.
Guest that one time. We had
Brittany, yeah.
I was like, what is her name?
I didn't even listen to the rest of the podcast I put. I could have been saying some fucked up shit. Like
I don't
fuck
listen
Ronald
to
Reagan.
I don't re-listen to them. I made my choices.
No. That's funny. I did one the other day because I was seeing if the link works because some people wanted to check it out, and I was like, oh, okay. Because sometimes it sounds shady depending on like how much we drink beforehand, and
there was one time.
Like there was one, the first one,
that
like
was with Brittany. Actually, I was pretty trashed at the end of that one.
oh, dude, we were fucking wasted.
I was like, we're done.
We were so fucking drunk. Anyway, good night, motherfuckers. We'll see you hopefully in a couple weeks doing another podcast, but feel free to ask any questions under the page and bring up any topics or whatever the fuck. Tell us to fuck off. And by the way, and all of you people who are fucking bitching about, I don't know if I probably cover this all the time, bitching about my kombucha videos, fuck you. I had a couple people, some bitch named Patricia Arquette, maybe calling herself the actor or whatever, said, you don't need to be so obscene when you teach people how to make kombucha. And I've heard another people, you don't need to be so offensive when you talk about kombucha. It's like, fuck you.
Kombucha's not a delicate, sensitive plant. Like, you just swear around it.
I'm guessing they watch. We probably talked about this in the last podcast. I'm probably rehashing some shit, but I was like, dude, like you're probably just watching YouTube with your kid, and I'm going fuck, bitch, Nick, wow, and they're like, okay, sorry, little Billy, But YouTube's fucking, fuck that, fuck it. Anyway, I'm gonna end the show. Later. Tip your fucking server. Don't be a piece of shit. And by the way, here's a tip for servers: if there's a roller derby in town, take that fucking night off. Go out and have a date. Don't work that night. You're not gonna make any money.
What?
Well, before I shut off.
Like, where did that come from?
He never learned how to roller skate.
Oh,
it's just been holding him back.
No! Just a bunch of fucking weird fucking assholes. And like a bunch of Ed Harvey people come in and fucking like don't tip you, and it's just like, it's close to the redneck. It's a glorified glam fucking metal redneck. Fucking Ed Harvey is just like the fucking stupidest shit.
Is that like Rodney?
No, it's a skull with a flame. It's a skull with a flame. It's leather boots with a skull with a flame. To show how edgy you are. Because you paid some money for something. With a skull and flame on it.
Are we talking about men's roller derby or women's roller derby?
Women's roller derby.
Okay, because those women are not small. Like, those are...
No, and they're not hot either.
Well, some of them are. I'm like, well...
Let's say the ratio.
Okay, well,
50-50.
because it's like basketball players, right? When you think about it, like, they're all tall, but the point guard's the small guy. There's a small guy. Like, the hot one's like the point guard for the basketball team. There's always one on the